Good afternoon, everyone. This is what my channel will be revolving around. This channel will be mostly about cars, guns, and loving your country. Gotta love it. This is a 1985 Chrysler 5th Avenue. When I first bought this car, I didn't know about how rare these cars really are, but I'm not too mad about it. I only bought it for $100. And these tires that are on it were discontinued in 1977. Remember when JCPenney used to sell tires? I sure as hell don't. But these are beefy tires, even though they are very, very bald. They need tread. Unlike the front tires where they have plenty of tread, but they have hardened up over the years and don't grip as well on the snow as they used to. I'm in Idaho right now. It is February, and it is really cold out. This snow came onto us really quick all of a sudden. It used to be t-shirt weather, but screw us, I guess. And the interior needs a little work. It does have some cigarette burns in it, but it is very comfortable, and I still need to vacuum it and everything. I haven't driven this thing around much. I have done some work on it already, but there are a couple issues I do want to address real quick. First off, the last person who had this car took the entire steering column apart and didn't put it back together right, so there are a few electrical problems stemming from that. One of which being my blinker switch does not work. And if I want to use the blinker, I'll show you something. See how that light's on like that? If I want to turn right, I have to shake my wheel back and forth. See how it turns off and on like that? Sometimes it doesn't even do it. The reason it's moving around like that is because there's a bearing inside of here. Past this bolt, you unscrew this, and there's a couple of other parts you have to get past. Also, the horn doesn't work, so I'm going to have to figure that out. And the radio doesn't work either. Like, it turns on, but I don't know if it's just not catching a signal or what. I'm going to have to take a closer look at it. But there's a bearing in here that keeps the wheels still. It helps the wheels spin a little bit easier, so it's just not metal on metal contact. And because it's broken, there's ball bearings coming out of it. It's busted. And the result of that is the wheel shakes up and down like this. And another thing is, for me to turn on the high beams or the low beams, I have to come down here and push on this thing. I don't know if you can see it, this thing right here. That's how I turn off my high beams and my low beams. And there's a bar that goes from it and comes up to here. I'm probably wiggle this with my finger. That's that metal bar right there. But I can also push on that with my finger, but thing is about that is that's a pain in the ass. Also, last person who had this car decided to spray paint a lot of the fucking damn it, I swear. Anyways, decided to spray paint a lot of the interior. And as you can see, they were a smoker. This, where it's blue here, is actually supposed to be chrome. And as you can see, spray painted over the switches. You got some spray paint on here too, and I put some paint thinner over that to help get that spray paint off, but I didn't want to mess up that finish on there, so I had to be very careful because I accidentally used too much and messed up this finish, like how they have in the glove box. And as you can see, this handle used to be spray painted blue, but I got a brush and some paint stripper and got some of that off. That handle right there used to look like this one, just blue. And also he got this side pretty good. I don't know why he did that. Also, this has a secondary handle to this. It's just another handle. Helps you close the door a little better. You can see also got spray paint in here. Got spray paint inside of the door. And I do need to work on the weather stripping, because there is no weather stripping right there on the door. And if I shut the door, you can see outside of the car. And the dash needs work. And I need to do something about this roof liner. As you can see, it's all hanging down. I tried stapling it, but that was all for naught. But good thing the vents work, the defroster works. You know, most things work on here. I do need to replace the mirror motors because they don't move very well. I need to take this out and turn it the other way because it's moving in opposite right now. Like if I move it right, the thing goes left. If I move it left, it goes right. If I move it up, it goes down. It's inverted. Like those gaming controls in video games. And if we take a look at the motor, the motor isn't actually pretty good shape, but it wasn't when I got it, and this is the wrong breather, so it likes to pop out. Oh, there we go. This used to be black, but I was tired of looking at that. It was black and covered in rust, and I was tired of looking at it, so I quickly painted it, put a couple coats on it, just to make it look a little better. And as you can see, this also needs some wiring under here. Like, the wiring's fine, it works, but I think this is a 10 gauge wire, and this has like I think this is 16 gauge wire or something, and it's taped to it, which is causing some problems, and I need anyway. And this wire right here does not fit the battery terminal, so it has to be hammered on. And as you can see, more tape. This is all got to get taken care of. And even more tape. The alternator is brand new. I literally bought it yesterday and put it on. And the fuel filter, I don't know if you can see it down there, it's right below the alternator, is also brand new. And this is the fourth battery I've had to put in here because the voltage regulator was broken. This is a new voltage regulator. Well, relatively new anyway. Put it on a few weeks ago. As soon as I put that voltage regulator on, I haven't ruined a battery yet. So that's a plus. And I also need to replace the power steering pump because it doesn't work at all even after I put fluid in it, so I'll probably put another one of those in. I've also done the brakes too, but the brakes are still really soft and spongy even after I've bled them and bled them and bled them. They still somehow keep getting a little bit of air in them, not too much. Not to where it's unsafe, but to where it's a pain in the ass. And parts for this car are far and few between. So I'm gonna really have to hit the books and go on the internet and see if I can find something. I've been searching for the hubcaps that go to the car for over a solid month, and I haven't been able to find them. They did make snowflake wheels for this car, but they did not fit this particular trim, I don't think, so it'd be kind of out of whack. And these tires are JCPenney brand El Tigras, which I looked them up, and they stopped doing these tires in 1977, along with JCPenney's whole automotive brand. As far as I know, I mean, this is just Wikipedia stuff, so I could be wrong. I just want to fix this quarter panel. Haven't been able to find one, so I'll probably have to have one fabricated. And it has this non-metal, like leather rear window roof thing. I don't know. I know there's a specific name for them, but I can't remember what it's called. And this is Chrysler 5th Avenue edition. You know, with the chrome trim and all that good stuff, with the 318 cubic inch 5.3 liter engine with a 3-speed automatic torque flight transmission. And as you can see, someone has tried to break in to this car in the past. As you can wipe that off, as you can see from these dents right here from someone trying to pry the door open. And they did end up getting in to the car, but not while I owned it. It was while the other guy owned it. And I had to put a new ignition cylinder in, and it's been kind of a pain in the butt. But what happened was someone tried stealing this car, and they tried drilling the previous ignition cylinder and broke the drill bit off inside of it, and then tried to jam it with the screwdriver and broke the screwdriver. So the ignition cylinder was pulled out, and the only way to start this car at the time was with a pair of pliers. Like needle nose pliers, something that was long and skinny that could go all the way through that narrow space. And this car needs some, I need to change the transmission fluid in it because it's been slipping out of gear and then hitting back in gear, which causes a little bit of whiplash, but it's not that big of a deal. But I do want to replace it to avoid damage to the transmission. As you can see, this car is a piece of work. I haven't even cleaned this car yet from the previous owner. So I'm gonna take it to a place to get vacuumed on Friday and cleaned up. So hopefully that helps. I'm not gonna get the car washed because obviously that'd be pointless. But I do want to get the undercarriage washed and get all that ice salt removed, because that ice salt will really damage the metal parts of your car, like the steel and everything. You don't want all that rust under there because it weakens the integrity of the car. And another thing I don't like about this car really is driving on the I-15 is a real pain in the butt, because this car is geared to go 55 miles an hour, because that was the speed limit on the interstate when this car was made. As you can see, a little square around the 55 mile per hour mark. I've gotten this car to go 100, but it was like re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Like, the wheel was shaking like crazy. I had, Houston Mission Control screaming in my ear, and everything was on fire, and I had to land this thing safely. NASA jokes. Anyway. But yeah, the lights and everything work fine. It's just a pain in the butt. And I really want to get the radio to work, because it is really boring to drive this car and not have any radio and have to have a Bluetooth speaker going, which is okay, but I would like to get it working. I also need to get new fuse bulbs for these. I want to get a new cover for that. And I want to try to scrub down this interior as much as I possibly can and make it like as new as I possibly can. And you may notice the steering wheel does not have the cover on it because I removed it. I'm going to go to a fabric store and get some new leather so I can baseball stitch the cover onto it. So this is the old steering wheel cover. It is a blue leather, and it was a baseball stitch style. And it just has been worn through over time. So I'm going to use this as a template, for new material I'm going to buy. Then I'm going to restitch it onto the wheel. And I did have a moment of weakness, and I did slap a couple stickers on the back. I'm not saying it has saved me from getting a ticket, but it has helped me not get worse tickets. Having those stickers and being a veteran really helps. And I know that sounds really bad, but it makes it more relatable to the police, which, again, doesn't sound good, you know. People are like, oh, if you're a veteran, you know, why do you get special privileges if you break the law? Well, you wouldn't understand. But anyway, windshield wipers don't work very well. And if they run too long, they slow down or stop. And it does have a plug to warm up the heater core, which also I don't think was wired up right, because whenever I plug it in, it drains my battery. But the chrome still looks really good on here. I also want to get a new emblem. I will be trying to get a repaint for it this summer, and I'm thinking about going a couple different paths with this car. I don't know if I want to keep it all original on the outside and put a speedy motor and transmission in it and make it kind of a sleeper car, in a sense, because no one really looks at these and expects them to be quick, because they're luxury four-door sedans. But if I do want to put a bigger motor in it, then I have the hookup on a 440 cubic inch 7.2 liter motor from a Dodge Coronet that has recently been rebuilt, and I'll be getting it for a very good price. And also the chrome down here, I haven't been able to find the chrome for this car at all, and I really don't want to have to go aftermarket. I only want OE replacements, because cars, especially classic cars, they're like savings bonds. The longer you have them, the more they'll appreciate in value. You know, because this car's already depreciated as much as it's ever going to. So after a while, less and less of these cars will be around, and price will go up. But first, since I'm not, you know, climbing Mount Everest, I want to put non-rock crawler tires on it, and just the regular street tires with the white wall. These actually have white walls on the other side, but yeah, these tires are a little bit beefy for this car. As you can see, they are 8-ply tires, and I don't need 8-ply tires. So this car does need a little work. I have been doing some work on it to help it, getting it roadworthy and everything like that. And another thing is this brake light has a little crack in it right here. I don't know if you can see that. It has a little crack in it. And also this light sometimes works, sometimes does not. It's really weird. I'm going to chalk it up to another wiring issue. And I also need to get the trunk key and everything, because I don't have the trunk key for it. But yeah, there will be plenty of videos about this car, because there's plenty to be done.